Listen, I wish Quentin Tarantino, for all of his brilliance and his intelligence and genius within the craft of filmmaking, I wish he could match that with just choosing better allies and better friends within the film industry. Because the guy just chooses absolute fuckwits and pieces of shit to be friends with all the time. Just continuously chooses to be friends with these people until it is completely untenable and he can't continue to be friends with them because he has been called out for it continuously and it has been made untenable through the media and the press. This guy, Roger Avary, who was one of the co-writers on Pulp Fiction, won an Oscar for the screenplay, went on to direct films such as Silent Hill and wrote Beowulf, was recently on the Joe Rogan Experience. He originally was on it for the first time last year, I believe, with Quentin Tarantino, and has since gone on to be on the show multiple times now. On the most recent episode, he claimed that it is impossible for him to get films made in the film industry, and that as soon as he started up an AI company and put AI in front of films, he was able to get multiple in production. I'm here to tell you that the reason he wasn't able to get films made wasn't because the industry was against him or because he just doesn't have the connections. This guy, Roger Avary, killed the guy. In 2008, he was drink driving with a passenger and friend called Andreas Zinni in his passenger seat. The car crashed and the friend was killed. He was found guilty after originally pleading not guilty for almost a year and eventually changing it, and then he was placed on work furlough, an incredibly lenient sentence. And since then, he has only made one film, a film called Lucky Day, which was apparently a sequel to his directorial debut Killing Zoe. The film currently sits at 9% on Rotten Tomatoes with critics. That is insanely low. But it's not just the fact that he's killed a guy that is restricting him from working in the industry in a deeper and more creative way. It is also what he says online. He has came out and claimed that the 2025 LA wildfires were caused by Antifa sleeper cells. He claims that the US is at war with itself and it's at war with Antifa. You know, the anti-fascist group that goes out in the streets and beats up fascists or proclaimed fascists. Apparently he claims that Antifa put some sort of gasoline into the sewage drains and then set it alight, and that's how the wildfires were started. An absolutely insane guy. He also believes that the earth is flat. This is a guy who, if it just stops at things like, oh, the earth is flat, you can probably kind of rationalize that and maybe just go, okay, we ignore that because he's a talented director. He's not a talented director, and he also speaks on things like the LA wildfires, which actively killed people and have robbed people of their livelihoods and their homes. This isn't a guy who is like stable and that you want working in your studio, and yet he still claims to have 3 films in development because he has started this AI company. I have multiple questions about this. What stage of development? Is it talks, production, pre-production, post-production? Is Quentin Tarantino involved? Is he deeply involved? Is he involved as director, writer? Is he just a producer? Is it just his company and that actually they're going to front other people who have potentially more media training and are less volatile when a camera is put in front of their faces? There's a lot of questions here, and ultimately he seems to just, in my opinion, be using this 15 minutes of fame in order to push this idea that, oh, well, I'm going to start an AI company and I'm going to get lots of buzz about me. I don't really think that that's true, and I think that the idea that he's got these 3 films that are wildly different and are apparently very expansive, I just don't think is very true, to be honest with you. But even if you look into the company that he has set up and who he is working with, there is no actual basis or foundation that suggests that anything that he's doing would be successful. So the company that he has started is called General Cinema Dynamics. If you Google this company, all that exists of them is a logo connected to a URL. That is all that's on their website. There is nothing else. There is no information about who they are. There is no work with us page. There's no contact page. There's nothing about who their investors are. There's nothing suggesting who owns them. So there is basically no information about what these companies are or what the suggestion is that they're actually capable of doing. There is no suggestion about who owns them, who has funneled money into them. There is no suggestion about partners other than what Roger Avary says on Twitter. There's nothing of this. And also, if you check the website age made in January of 2026, so this company effectively has existed for a year. There is also no acknowledgement of existence of this company on business registries in the US, either federal or based in California. There is nothing about this company that suggests that it's legitimate and that it really exists. The company that it is partnered with is Massive Studios, which which is also an AI company, and the partner is a guy called Reza Safai, who is essentially, in my opinion, failed writer, director, actor who has now gone over to the AI, make a way for himself in the creative industries by being anti-creative, by not being creative at all, and just using AI in replacement of having any actual ability and skill. And ultimately, if you are still unconvinced that this guy is kind of just a bit of a weirdo and probably isn't going to actually see through anything and shouldn't be working in this industry because he's an absolute lunatic by the sounds of it, who has killed a guy, if none of that convinces you, I posted a tweet simply saying, in reply to an article from Variety, that he probably isn't working because he had killed a guy. In response to that, he blocked me. I'm nobody. I am fucking nothing compared to this guy. And somehow, I have now had an interaction with an Oscar-winning screenwriter because he didn't like the fact that I acknowledged that he killed a guy. You know what? Maybe he's rebounded from that. Maybe he's learned. Maybe he's rehabbed and he's fully, across the board, a better person. Even still, you should not be claiming that the reason that you can't get films made is because AI exists and that's all the industry is interested in. It is because of your personality. It is because of your actions. In the time you have been gone, the industry has moved past you. And there has to just be a semblance of acceptance. And he does not seem capable of doing that. And in turn, he has turned into one of these loser AI weirdos who can't accept that the industry isn't there for them, that the industry doesn't care about them. And so in turn, has turned to AI and is willing to essentially degrade the craft that they claim to care for in the name of servicing themselves. And this brings me on to a final question that I want to end this video with. Quentin Tarantino also always claims that he loves film, that he has only ever done everything he's done for the love of the game, because he loves the film industry. So why does he continuously insist on backing weird people and doing weird shit that muddies his image and that aligns him with weird fucking people? I don't need to talk very much about his relationship with Harvey Weinstein, or that after all the revelations came out about Harvey Weinstein and everything that he's done, Tarantino said, oh, well, I knew some things. I probably could have done more. Which, you know, like, I'm sure that's great to hear as a woman that's been raped, that this guy is going, I knew something. I knew he was a bit of a weirdo. It doesn't really help the situation, does it? And then also continues to live in Israel, continues apparently, according to his wife, to refer to himself as a Zionist and saying that he will die as a Zionist. Tarantino is a genius. He's brilliant. He's one of the best directors ever. Can we stop allowing him to give platforms to people like this? And again, I don't believe that Roger Avary is speaking correctly. I think that the chances are that he's probably exaggerating at the least and lying at the most. And is that really what we want from one of the best directors ever, is to have him connected with someone like that? I kind of expect better from someone like Tarantino personally. But anyways, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe.